Possibly. Thank you.
Here, I'll close it for you.
Thank you.
That should be good.
Yeah, definitely put the straps on.
Seems like you have a girl.